Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today I'm reviewing another episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series and I hope you enjoy. Spider-Man the Animated Series Episode 4 review. In this and the first two episodes, it alludes to the line, "With great power comes great responsibility," with two mad scientists using their power for their own wants and gains, and in this episode, the Kingpin using Smythe to create robots for his empire. They have the power to do things that can help humanity out a ton, but instead, they use it for their own gain, which eventually leads to their defeat. In this episode, the Black Widow returns and comes back with two friends, each deadlier than the last. I like how the third one looks like a scorpion, to be honest. This episode has a lot of character exploring for Eddie Brock, especially since last time he was fired from the Daily Bugle, and at the end, an iconic face in the comics shows up on Peter Parker's doorstep once again. This episode starts with Spider-Man talking to Aunt May and trying to convince her to stop setting him up on a blind date. Then, suddenly, the Black Widow Spider Slayer shows up and attacks. Spider-Man this time takes it out in less than a minute. Then, Spidey sees a second Slayer robot, this one blue and equipped with a freeze ray. He gets hit and gets captured, taken to the programmer. Who sent them? Why are they back? And what does it have to do with Spider-Man now? It turns out it is Alistair Smythe, son of Spencer Smythe, the man from the last episode who originally built the Black Widow. He has captured Spider-Man and eventually J. Jonah Jameson for revenge for his father's death, and attack any others who made the day his father died difficult. In this episode, it shows three Spider Slayer robots attacking different areas and using all their different powers, which is something the show brings back a lot, Spider Slayers. This episode, when it comes to the Spider Slayers, was the best one in my opinion. In the comics, I've loved them, or just the idea of a mad scientist making a bunch of different robots to squish a man spider. Anyway, the episode's not all about the robots, and that is a good thing. So, between the three characters who are attacked, Flash Thompson, Eddie Brock, and Norman Osborn, I'm going to talk about them, then save the JJJ stuff for last. The first attack, the Black Widow, goes after Flash Thompson and ruins his time with Felicia Hardy. This is the least interesting attack. Spider-Man stops it easily by slamming it into a wall. The second one, the blue freeze ray one, goes after Eddie Brock, who just got a job reporting again. It's revealed Jameson has told everyone that he's bad news, so it's hard for him to get a new job now. Just then, the Slayer shows up and breaks through the building walls, causing Eddie Brock to be fired again. And again, he blames this all upon Spider-Man, even after Spider-Man just saved his life. Spidey stops the Slayer by having it electrify itself off. Finally, the Green Scorpion-looking one attacks Oscorp, going after Norman. Soon, the big one has the last to attach itself to the top, and the Ultimate Slayer robot, as I like to call it, goes after Osborn on the bridge. Osborn is shown to be a bit egotistical, or maybe just too cocky of himself just because he's so rich. You get the feeling he's already a bit of a bad guy, even though he doesn't become the Green Goblin for quite a while. Now for Spider-Man and JJJ's relationship, it's perfect. The constant back and forth bickering, the amazing Spider-Man trying to save his, JJ's, and all the city's lives. All the while Jameson is being handcuffed to Spidey the whole time, arguing and yelling at him, saying that this is all his fault and that he's the so-called menace that Jameson perceives New York to believe him to be. Spider-Man gets the bomb off rather quickly, but there is a scene of urgency, even when I see it now, that the countdown clock has put on Spider-Man saving everyone and himself in a limited amount of time. In fact, that's what he uses to destroy the Slayer at the end, all with the Fantastic Four It's Clobbering Time reference. Now, to some of the best parts of the show, the Kingpin and Alistair Smythe's interactions. They are constantly on each other's nerves, and at the end, because Alistair failed to destroy Spider-Man, for if you saw the last review, you know why Kingpin wants that. Alistair now has to stay until he does, working for the Kingpin. This is the first episode they are working together, and Alistair clearly states that he doesn't like Kingpin, and Kingpin makes it clear that he's the boss and no one stands up to him. The comedy was great here. I love when Spider-Man says, "Ever think of becoming a family therapist?" after JJ suggests Smythe strap himself to the bomb. I've already mentioned another Fantastic Four reference, like in episode 2. Like I said, I may skip the talking about the comedy part in future reviews unless it stands out, like in this episode. I dare not forget to mention that at the end, we get an almost perfect scene straight from the Amazing Spider-Man issue 42, where Peter first meets Mary Jane Watson. So, the finale. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. There are a few episodes that I think deserve a 10 out of 10, and this one is one of them. And this, well, please tell me what you think down below. I was surprised. I was thinking to give this a 9 out of 10, just because the threat wasn't as interesting as the Lizard or Scorpion, but the characters, the jokes, the episode story, and what it leads to, even in future seasons, definitely has this episode stand out as one of the greatest. So, with all that said, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.